The docking bay smelled wrong. Rhett noticed it the moment his boot hit the metal ramp, sweet and stale at the same time, like rotting flowers sealed in glass. The transport he'd meant to board, the Atlas Run, was supposed to stink of fuel, sweat, and recycled air. This one smelled alive, but the alarms of the port were already fading behind him. The ramp had sealed. The ship shuddered with silent power. Too late. Rhett adjusted the strap on his travel pack, muttering, "Great. Another experimental carrier. Figures. Megacorporations love to test prototype vessels on desperate passengers who couldn't ask questions." Inside, the corridor walls curved like ribs. Soft lights pulsed under translucent panels, as if the ship breathed. No crew greeted him, no security drones. Only silence. Rhett frowned and kept walking. He never saw the doors close behind him, like a jaw clamping down on prey. Rhett followed the navigation lights toward what should have been the central passenger hub. Instead, the corridor opened into a vast chamber shaped like a cathedral, arched ceilings, glowing veins of blue light running like stained glass, and dozens of figures stood waiting, tall, slender, pale as moonstone. Their eyes reflected the light too well, like mirrors dipped in oil. They didn't move. They only stared. Rhett stiffened. Hi." The word passed among them like static. "A male," one whispered. Another repeated it. Then another. "A male, a male, a male." Their voices layered over one another until the sound vibrated in his bones. Rhett took a step back. "Okay, this is definitely not the Atlas Run." The tallest of them stepped forward. Her face was almost human, if not for the faint lines beneath her skin that shifted like living circuitry. "Do not be afraid," she said gently. "We have waited a very long time for you." Rhett swallowed. "You've got the wrong guy," she smiled. "We waited for any man at all." 500 years of extinction had not killed their species. It had only sharpened their hunger. They herded him through organic corridors into a chamber that resembled a throne room grown from bone and crystal. Holographic star maps floated in the air, ruined constellations, dead systems marked in crimson. The tall woman gestured. "We are the Alarin. Once we ruled 20 systems. Then the breach wars came. The men died first." Rhett frowned. "Only the men?" "Only the men." She turned to him. "For 5 centuries we have survived without them. We cloned, we adapted, but something essential was lost." She stepped closer. "Choice." Rhett's heart hammered. "You kidnapped me for breeding?" A murmur rippled through the chamber, something between laughter and reverence. The woman shook her head. "No, that would be primitive." She raised her hand, and the floor peeled open. Something massive shifted beneath. The ship was not a vessel. It was a cage. From beneath the transparent floor rose a creature so vast Rhett couldn't see its full shape. Just coils of armored flesh, eyes like collapsing stars, and chains of energy laced around its form. "The Devourer," the woman said softly. "Our god, our executioner, our final mistake." Rhett stared in horror. "That thing eats worlds." "Yes," she replied, "and it only awakens for one thing." The creature stirred. Its eyes turned toward him. Rhett tried to run. Gravity seized him instead, slamming him to his knees as the ship hummed. The woman knelt across from him. For the first time, her voice trembled. "For 500 years it has slept, and for 500 years it has starved." She leaned close. "It only feeds on males." Rhett wasn't a guest. He was the key to an apocalypse. They placed him in a containment chamber, walls of shifting light, air thick with paralytic energy. The creature thrashed beneath the floor, responding to his presence. The woman returned alone. "You awake it fully within one cycle," she said. "Your life will sustain it for centuries." Rhett laughed hysterically. "So I just die and doom the galaxy? That's the plan?" "No," she said quietly. "You die and save my species." Rhett's expression hardened. Funny thing about survival. It doesn't excuse genocide. Something flickered behind her eyes. Doubt, regret, or fear. "The universe never cared about excuses," she replied. She turned to leave. Rhett slammed his fists against the glowing wall. You waited 500 years. What if I'm not your only option? She paused. The hesitation was enough. Hope arrived not as rescue, but as a flaw in their perfect plan. Rhett searched the chamber desperately for weaknesses. The wall pulsed in response to motion. The floor vibrated with the devourer's breathing. Then he noticed something else. Other chambers, dozens, all empty. He stared as realization hit. You already brought other men here. The woman said nothing. Rhett whispered, and none survived. Her silence was answer enough. You're not saving your species, he said. You're feeding a god until it eats you too. For the first time, she looked away. Rhett leaned forward. Help me kill it. Her breath hitched. What? You don't need a monster to survive. You need a future. And monsters don't leave futures behind. The ship shuddered violently. Warning lights erupted. The devourer was waking. Sirens howled through the organic corridors. The woman stared at the rising energy signatures in horror. It's awakening early. You weren't supposed to resist. Rhett smirked darkly. I'm bad at following extinction-level instructions. She hesitated only a second, then slammed her palm against the containment field. The barrier collapsed. Rhett fell forward into her arms as the devourer roared beneath them. She whispered, Run if you wish. I am done being its priest. They sprinted through heaving corridors as the ship convulsed, its biomechanical body tearing itself apart under the god's awakening. Behind them, the devourer tore free. Stars dimmed outside the hull. The galaxy screamed. Freedom came at the exact price the universe always demanded. Everything. They reached the escape bay as the devourer's tendrils punched through the ship's walls like spears of living night. The woman shoved Rhett inside the emergency pod. You must leave. It will chase you. Rhett grabbed her wrist. You're coming too. She smiled sadly. My species created this hunger. It deserves one of us in return. The devourer's shadow swallowed the chamber. Rhett screamed her name as the pod blasted into open space. From the viewport, he watched the Alaran ship collapse into the devourer's mouth. Light, metal, and stars. And 500 years of desperation vanishing in one final scream. Then, the creature turned. Toward him. He escaped the wrong ship, only to become the last target of an immortal hunger. Rhett's pod rocketed through hyperspace, emergency systems tearing under the strain. He broadcast every warning code known to humanity. Wrong ship, wrong species, world eater awakened. His final message ended with, If you hear whispering calling you male, run. Static answered. Behind him, space folded wrong.